The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. We kick things off, and we have markets yet again surging higher on another AI deal. This time, AMD in the mix with OpenAI. Excuse me, OpenAI. They raised money at a $500 billion valuation towards the end of last week, and now they're investing in AMD, and they're getting 160 million shares, warrants, I should say, depending on the price appreciation of AMD shares. We'll get into it, but markets reacting higher. S&P's up another 20 points this morning, up by 0.3%. You see the high on Friday, 6,800. Nice round number. We're just off that price level. NASDAQ 100, AI, surging higher. Tech stocks up almost 200 points, up 0.8%, 25,190. You have the Dow up about 94 points or 0.2% this morning, 47,125, and the Russell up by 0.7%. Bitcoin, that's another record, folks, up 1.6%, up $2,000, 125,630. Ethereum up by 1.5% at 46.21. Crude, we hit $62 briefly this morning. We're up by 50 pennies, trading at 61.37. How about gold? $26.30 away from 4,000, folks. We're up another $47 this morning. There's your acceleration. Pretty remarkable that in 6 weeks, you've traded from 33.49 to almost 4,000. You're up almost 20%, even over that period of time. Gold up by 1.2%, up $46. Silver makes a high of 48.59. We're up by 20 pennies or 0.4% right now. You jump over to copper, backing off a bit, off by 0.6%. We check out yields this morning. Lower price, higher yields. That's what's coming right now. You got lower price, higher yield coming at you. We jump over in terms of the 10-year right now. Negative by 9 ticks. We're trading at 112.12 right now. The 10-year is 4.16. 4.16. So 3 weeks from this Wednesday is the next Fed meeting. There's 6 weeks in between meetings, folks. Can you believe that we're almost halfway in between the last meeting and the next meeting? It feels like we just got the last meeting, right? That we got the meeting, the market, you bought the rumor, you sold the news, market's actually going higher. We're already 3 weeks to the next meeting. October 29th, 23 days from right now, 10-year, 4.16 right now. With higher yield, this is what's remarkable on gold, right? So higher yield, you get a stronger dollar, and with that stronger dollar, you're getting a stronger gold price. That's not usually what happens, right? If you're pricing gold and you're pricing it in stronger dollars, for gold to be going up during that period of time, remarkable. Now, I just was mentioning that gold is now up, from 33.50 to almost 4,000, all while the dollar has just chopped around, right? We had that huge acceleration when gold in the beginning of the year had appreciated, when you got the dollar declining from 110 to 98. But boy, this last run is strength, as Steve Rhodes always pulling up those charts of all the different currencies. No matter what currency you're talking about, man, gold is doing it. Because it's not about the dollar right now and the weakness of the dollar. That was the run earlier. This is about gold. So this last run of 20%, nothing to do with the currency. You got this first run in the beginning of the year, right? From 2,600 up to 3,400. That was the dollar. But this run, that's just gold, man. Gold is strong. You take a look at gold on a weekly. Look at this volume. It just keeps going up, folks. Right? This entire breakout we've had expanding volume. Now, yeah, you can say that the week of September 1st, you had higher volume, then you pull back, No, that is a straight line up to higher volume, capped out by last week when you did 1.3 million shares on that gold contract as you pushed to all-time highs. And we're kicking off with higher price action this morning. All right. Another week in the markets, another blockbuster deal between the usual suspects, we'll start calling them. Hey, how about AMD shares? Did you like AMD at 164 on Friday? Well, you're going to love it at 224 this morning. 224. You're now up by $60. 60. To put this in context, folks, AMD has 1.6 billion shares outstanding. That company today, I mean, I'm like staggering my words because I want to question them. They just went from a $260 billion company to a $360 billion company. What? Well, you know what? You look at some of these numbers, okay? And yeah, the real question here is, how's OpenAI going to pay for this? That's what I keep asking. This is not a deal where you get a company like Amazon that has a bunch of cash flow. They're going to deploy that cash flow, or Meta. Meta's the greatest example, right? How are they going to pay for something? No, Meta can pay for anything. They might pay for it at the expense of their profits, which is why that stock collapsed a few years ago to the $80 range, okay? Because Zuckerberg, and that time it was the metaverse, right? Now he's on to AI. Metaverse included, though. He's got his glasses. They're part of the metaverse. It all ties in. But they're worried about Zuckerberg spending his profits. What's amazing in all these deals is OpenAI is spending money they don't have. Now, they're spending it years down the path, and that's how it works, folks. You know, great companies, they do plan for the future, all right? They don't wait to make sure they have the revenue. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. But you better believe there are some risks, okay? So, it's an AI infrastructure deal. OpenAI is going to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD graphics processing units over multiple years. This is going to begin next year and accelerate in 2027. For this deal, AMD has given OpenAI a warrant for as many as 160 million shares. Now, we just pulled up, which is why I went through it the way I did. They've got 1.6 billion shares. They just gave them a 10% warrant. The company was valued at $260 billion when this deal was done. So they gave them a 10% warrant of the outstanding stock, which will vest as milestones are achieved. Those targets require the share price to continue to increase in value, and future exercise points include a tranche tied to a share price of $600. It closed at 164, but as we just said, what's it trading at right now? 224? 225. Keeps going up. It's unclear how exactly OpenAI will finance the costs associated. It's basically a story of if you build it, they will come, right? To quote, Field of Dreams. How old is that one now? But my goodness, what a great line. If you build it, they will come, and that's what they're doing in AI, folks. You know, Altman had just said 2 months ago that he wants to spend trillions on infrastructures to secure the computing resources he thinks the company needs for AI services. Working to devise a new kind of financial instrument without providing details. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get back, but you talk about this number, man. You talk about the billions versus what they're doing right now. Yeah, it might be worth it to AMD. Come right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. Markets right now in the green. S&P's right now about 15 points from those all-time highs on Friday. NASDAQ 100. Yeah, we hit those highs today. About 40 points away from those highs right now. The Dow, we hit that high on Friday. About 200 points away from that price level. And the Russell, about 5 points away from that high. Yeah, trading at 25.09, high out there of 25.15 right now. Okay, jumping back to AMD. So you look longer term on AMD. Boy, that was quite a breakout, folks. These channel lines, okay? Now, what's remarkable here is look where you're coming back to. Look where we are. We're at 226. The high is 227.30 from last year. These channel lines, folks. That April acceleration, you break out of the channel. I'm going to put this on a daily real quick. You break out, you come back, you test it, and boy, that was a takeoff, man, and we're going to push. The highs at 227 out here. We're trading at 227 as we speak, and it's not stopping. Now, be careful of chasing this one, folks, okay? You know, yes, this can change the trajectory of this company in the future, and it is a game changer, okay? But I remind you of the action a company like Oracle got. Okay, listen, you want to get into AMD and you're making a bet that you want to get in for like the next 10 years, right? Okay, you don't got to worry about the price action today. You don't got to worry about the give back. Maybe you scale into the equity, right? If you're making a trade like that, you want to get into some of these players that you're not in right now for the longer term. Maybe you got a retirement account. Maybe you got kids that you want, where you're really looking longer term horizon. The way to do that right now at these price levels, okay, don't do it all by putting it all on any of these equities. Don't buy the position, all of it today when you're pushing 227. Pick an amount you want to invest, and you can invest, a quarter of it now, a quarter in 2 months, quarter in 2 months, and a quarter in another 2 months, right? You invest over a 6-month period because you see the type of give back. And Oracle, that's a game changer. Oracle's a great company going forward, but you just traded off $60 from that spike high, right? AMD shares, you're up by almost $100 billion in market cap. Now, let's get into some of the numbers, though. Because you better believe when you got OpenAI, you see what can happen with Oracle, right? As in, yeah, you're talking about a $300 billion deal with Oracle, okay? The 10% stake that they get, it's going to mean that they're a player going forward. They're going to buy their chips going forward, period. End of story. And that's not going to change. And when you look at the revenue, okay, AMD is in the pink here, folks, right? They don't even show up on this chart. Imagine, NVIDIA is in the green, okay? Intel's in the blue. AMD data center revenue is in the pink. They're non-existent. Look at the sales in billions. Look at the most recent quarter. What is that, 4 billion, 3.5, something like that? Okay. AMD, their CEO, let's see where they say. They're talking about $100 billion potentially. This could add. Now, that's them. Here it is. So AMD's AI GPU revenue is projected to reach $6.55 billion this year. Okay. They see this providing a springboard to greater adoption of its technology that could take its revenue from the area to above $100 billion. They're at $6 billion right now. And yeah, you got NVIDIA shares trading lower this morning, only by $3. And you know what's remarkable here, okay? NVIDIA has so many shares outstanding, folks, that this could just even be a little bit of an allocation split, right? Let's say you're fully all in on NVIDIA, and this news breaks today. Say, you know what, I'm going to lighten up a little bit. This is a great area to do it. If you're all in on data center, well, make sure that you got a little bit of Oracle. Make sure you got a little AMD. Make sure you got a little Intel probably at this point, okay? But what's remarkable is AMD shares are up about $100 billion in market cap right now, okay? And you say, my goodness, this stock's up $62 right now at $226, okay? And then you go over to NVIDIA, and the stock breaks lower on that news, but NVIDIA shares are down less than $3 right now, okay? Well, you say, oh, that's nothing. They're down like less than $3. We're basically trading at where we were on Friday. We're where we were last Wednesday. That's really not even that big of a move. Okay, so AMD shares are soaring higher at the same time that you got a little bit of a give back for NVIDIA. Except the one thing you forget, folks, is that NVIDIA's, and you don't forget, but that's the example, right? NVIDIA's got 24.3 billion shares outstanding. So NVIDIA being down $3 takes $75 billion in market cap away from that company, and you have AMD shares adding $100 billion. So yeah, there's a creation of $25 billion that kind of came out of nowhere, right? There was a great comment in the Den today saying, they invest X amount of dollars and their market cap goes out and goes up by many, many, many multiples of what they invest. It's a great business plan if you can do it, folks, right? But yeah, NVIDIA's pulled back about $75 billion in market cap. You got AMD shares up about $100 billion in market cap. You have Intel shares slightly in the green this morning. They pulled back initially on that news. You pop higher to 37.17 right now. Now NVIDIA's been on a run, man. Okay, NVIDIA August 1st was trading at about $19. You're almost double that price. Intel shares, 5 billion shares. So you're talking about Intel right now, $176 billion company. Meanwhile, AMD is going to create $100 billion overnight. AMD comes in at about $360 billion right now. We're talking about $367. Let's jump over to some of the other players. Broadcom this morning, down about $5. This company, valuation-wise, how about $1.5 trillion? How's that for you? And you jump over to Oracle, catching a bid on that news. Up by about $7 as well. All right, we'll jump around to some of the other high flyers. Amazon shares slightly in the green with the market this morning. Apple flat at 258. Remarkable action on Apple on Friday. You get a downgrade from Jefferies, and the market waits about 10 seconds on the open to trade it all the way back. And you're slightly in the green this morning for Apple. Not Google. Google down about $1 this morning at 245. Microsoft shares trading up at 519. All right, folks, markets going for all-time highs yet again. S&P's up by 23. NASDAQ 100 up by 213. Gold's continuing higher, up by $47. And AMD going to be the big one. You may push all-time highs on the open. We got all-time highs at 227. We're at 225. We're coming back, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
welcome back, folks. We got markets open, green across the board right now. S&P's up by about 20 points or 0.3%. NASDAQ 100 up by about 200 points or 0.8% on the open. And we jump over to AMD shares. And that is a new all-time high right there that we got pre-market, but you didn't quite get it intraday. Let's see, you put it on the daily. Yeah, 226.71 so far, and what's remarkable is you got to back it up. We missed the high by about 50 pennies. 227.30. We'll see if we get there. We're already back to 221. Be wary of the run of Oracle, okay? And it is a game changer, just in the same way it was with Oracle. But is it a game changer of $100 billion? Maybe. Is it a game changer of $100 billion materializing today in the market cap? A little bit harder to come by. They're going to have to materialize all that money, and they're signing a deal with the company OpenAI where they have to find the money to actually pay him. It's how it happens in a lot of business transactions, though, right? You're signing deals out in 2027. You don't know if you're going to have the money in 2027. That's the operation of a good business. You're planning forward. Nonetheless, the amount of money, when you're talking about trillions and trillions and trillions, it is a big number, to say the least. We jump over to NVIDIA, trading lower on that deal. If they're buying AMD chips, whose chips are they not buying? NVIDIA, down by 1.25% so far this morning. You jump over to Broadcom, down by 0.6% right now. Intel shares, up by 2.8% right now. Jump over to Oracle, up by 2%, up $5.59 to $291. And in banks, we got some action as well. Fifth Third Bank Corp, they're buying Comerica, $10.9 billion, all-stock deal. It's going to close the end of the first quarter, 2026, ninth largest U.S. bank with about $288 billion in assets. And as you'd expect, Comerica up a little bit in the pre-market, about 11-12%. Fifth Third down a bit. The bank and ETF up a bit. And yeah, you may need to see some more of these, folks, as you got deregulation and deals coming, and the bank's just getting bigger. So Fifth Third, is that FTIB? FITB, yeah. Look at that. And get it all back. They buy it for 10. Now here's what's remarkable, right? They're buying it, but it's an all-stock deal, okay? And one thing to keep in mind, I heard this once and it's a great example, okay? Imagine if you're buying a company and you think it's the greatest thing ever, man, and you want it all, right? You never give them a piece of the action. You do it all in cash, okay? But if you're buying a company and you think it's going to have some good synergies, right? You can always pay for it in cash, in stock. But when you pay for it in stock, you're giving them value of the future business. And if you really expect the value of that future business to accelerate, why would you give anybody a piece of it if you could pay for it? Now, I generalize, okay? But anytime you hear an all-stock deal, think about that. Anytime you hear an all-cash deal, think about that, because it does play in. This one's an all-stock deal. Fifth Third, they're not spending cash, they're just spending stock, up by 1.8% right now. Comerica, CMA, up by 17%. So we jump over this company. So that still only puts it at $10.6 billion on that run. So not fully priced in. I say the price here. $10.9 billion, all stock deal. So it's probably a little higher because at the current price they come in at about $10.6 billion. Let's see. Let's see if it says in the Bloomberg article I had pulled up. Yeah, almost a 17% premium, which is what you're pushing right now. So you look at the totals of assets, Fifth Third, $212 billion. Comerica, about $80 billion for assets. Deposits, $167 billion to $64. And then the loans at $120. But they're all going to combine into one. Yeah, the banks consolidating. So speaking of OpenAI, the Sora copyright gamble. This is going to be a constant going forward, right? You see all of, whether it's Sam Altman himself, okay, the OpenAI CEO, his videos. I've seen countless videos of Nintendo characters, right? Have you seen the videos of Mario, everybody, Rick and Morty, South Park, Despicable Me? I don't know how this company is going to be able to make the case that they can just use all these characters and create all these videos, right? Ronald McDonald. McDonald's declined to comment. Can you imagine being here, right? And you have this company that's putting out crazy videos of Ronald McDonald, being chased by police helicopters. You got to laugh, man. But they're not laughing. That's not what they want out there. All right? That's their property. That's their intellectual property, man. Excuse me. Disney and Universal have sued Midjourney. And yeah. Mention on the movie stars. As I've said, basically anything you see on the internet, folks, at this point, it's not real. Just start from that as the default. We are there already. The things that you can do, whether it's with Gemini, with Gemini Flow is one of the apps that you can create videos for. You have Pika is an app I've created some stuff for. And then, of course, you have now Sora with OpenAI. Now, I saw this pop up too. You can actually create a cameo of yourself that you can insert in your videos, and then you can allow other people, when you download, so Sora 2, I downloaded it on my phone this weekend, and they ask you right away, do you want to allow other people the ability to use your likeness in their videos? And they tell you that you'll have constant control over that, though, so you can end it. And I was like, no, why would anybody ever want to allow my likeness used in other people's videos, right? Users can choose to create a cameo of themselves that they can insert into videos, and they can have direct control over who can access it. Users can't generate videos of another person without that person's explicit permission. Well, we'll see if that plays out, but the battle is on, and those video generation tools. AMD holding up pretty well. We give back some of that run, but you're up by 34%. NVIDIA shares down by 1.3%. Microsoft in the green by 0.8%. You jump over to Amazon. All right, not for Amazon this morning, down by $2, down by a percentage to $2.17. Oracle up by $9. Paramount Skydance down by 1%. Dow rolls into negative territory. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We jump over as markets trade lower a bit from where we were on the open. We have Verizon shares down by 2% right now. And so Verizon, they got a new CEO. They announced today that their board of directors appointed the former PayPal CEO, Dan Schulman, as the company's new CEO. They reiterate their 2025 full-year guidance. The last CEO was in there since 2018. And yeah, Vestberg will remain on the board until next year's annual meeting and be a special advisor for a year. So they keep the old CEO on for a year so that he can provide assistance to the new CEO. So at PayPal, he grew that company's revenue from $8 to $30 billion. So Verizon wants to grow their share across all segments, maximize their value propositions, reduce our cost to serve, and optimize our capital allocation. Nonetheless, the market trades lower on that, down by about 1.6%. You check back to AMD shares, digesting the news, down by a bit off the open. Look at that, you get back $13, right? Just like that, $13 off the open. Be careful chasing these when you get that type of move. Oracle shares up by 2.4% right now. Nvidia calms the reaction, down only 0.9% right now, off $1.67. Amazon dropping off 1.4%, off $3. Just like that, you jump over to Google shares. It's amazing we're getting such different moves, right? Across the market drivers. Microsoft up by 0.8%. You jump over to Netflix shares. Flat, right to the penny. You jump over to Disney, down by 0.3. Paramount, Skydance, as I talked about, giving back some, off 1.3% right now. So Paramount, they continue to make some moves, and we do own Paramount right now, folks. But yeah, they're shaking up the news division, as was expected. Barry White, she's coming in. They buy her company for $150 million. Not a bad deal. And she takes control of the CBS News editorial vision, aiming for news that reflects reality. And she's the one that now is in charge of reality. It's always somebody always gets to decide what's reality, right? Nonetheless, the transformation. You know, they're on a path, man, in terms of shaking things up. And so she was at I believe the Journal and the Times, right? And yeah, she's an opinion columnist editor at the Times, and she quit there in dramatic fashion in 2020. And now she's got a free press, 1.5 million subscribers, 175,000 pay for the content. Tom Sibrowski is the CBS News president. He's been there for about 8 months, and he joined from Disney's ABC, where he was a news producer for 16 years. And that whole area, right? The nightly news. You know, I saw statistics that Fox News, you know, their prime times are beating everybody, and you know, the game is just such a change. I mean, to watch who is watching, right? Who is sitting down at their television to watch those one-off nightly news shows when really we're consuming news 24/7 at this point. News hits you by the moment it's happened. You don't have to wait for the nighttime news. The nighttime news is very delayed, as we all know these days. So, but boy, they are aggressive, and that's what you want in something like that, man. They're coming in, they're mixing things up. They're going after Warner Brothers. And yeah, they're talking about in the Tigers Den today, saying, you know, Disney, right? Maybe Disney, maybe Apple goes after Disney, maybe Netflix goes after them as a pure play. You know, one of the other ones that's always intriguing is Roku. Now, Roku's off 2.3% this morning. This is about a $15 billion company. It's been on a heck of a run. Let's see where we're at right now. Yeah, right at $15 billion. $14.9 billion company, Roku. Okay? This thing is on quite a run. We're pushing highs. Recent highs, though. Look at this run, right? You're coming up and testing the highs. As I always say, sometimes it's not as complicated as it seems, folks. You got a high out here of 104.96. We get above there by less than 50 cents. Right? Less than 50 cents, and we're facing some resistance. That's the same high from where you were in the end of 2023. Now, you know, we all got a little ahead of ourselves that somehow some of these companies were going to take over the world, like Zoom, Peloton, and Roku during the pandemic, okay? But if you take the pandemic volatility out of things, we've been on quite a run. And if you're looking for acquisitions, folks, this one is always on my radar. Now, you even go back to, right, Roku was at $75 in 2018, folks. Okay, that's not talking about that we were at $175 prior to COVID. Okay, COVID sent this thing up to $500, right? We're well below where we were pre-COVID when you had Disney Plus accelerating, online, Roku to $490. It's only a $15 billion company. I say only, in that they provide access and kind of the gateway to many people that stream. You know, in my house alone, folks, I got a Roku in my living room, and you know, they back end a lot of the smart TV technology, putting Roku in there as well. And when I look at the ability for any company to go after a Disney, when you're talking about right now, okay, and you know, listen, you want to go after Disney, and you're getting them at 2015 prices, that's a real analysis, folks, okay? Because there's only one Walt Disney World, right? There's only one, and you're talking about a market cap of $200 billion, same thing you would have paid 10 years ago, right? But $200 billion for any of these companies, I just don't think they need to spend that type of money for the returns that Disney's bringing, even with their IP. And then I look at something like a Roku, where you provide access and the data and you think about a streamer wanting to control that alone, just think about Roku on the remote controls that you have on the TVs, Roku TVs, even the Roku set boxes, which are going away. But just being the one that controls all of that. I always put that one on my radar, man. Roku's an attractive asset. They've made themselves a player again. You're pushing these highs of 101. And that's one I look at more so than Disney. Because $200 billion right now, man, you're going to buy that company. What are you going to have to buy it for, right? At least at 30% premium, 25% premium. So you're talking about having to buy it for $250 billion. And hey, if anyone could do it, Netflix or Apple could do it. We'll talk about these two companies when we come right back, folks. Stay tuned.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get the Dow trailing negative now by 129 points. Markets rolling over a bit during the hour, and you take a look at Netflix. So Disney, about a $200 billion company. Netflix, $492 billion. I just don't see them taking on that type of a debt load. You know, you're talking about buying a company that's 40% of yours. And why? When Netflix is kind of eating their lunch when it comes to the content. Now, you know, the only reason that I think about it, not the only, anything could happen, right? Reed Hastings to say, you know what, we're going to take over everything, man. Now, I'd be interested to see if they get some antitrust there, but there's a lot of competition in the streaming spectrum. Combining Disney and Netflix, though, that seems like a big one in terms of competition, right? They would face some headwinds, and that would be part of the problem, that it might be difficult for them to go after. You got to know that you are. We'll see where the Trump administration, they're friendly to mergers. And maybe they're friendly with Disney getting bought out by Netflix. Not sure of that one, though. But the movie slate coming down the line for Disney, it is a big one. Okay, you got a couple Star Wars movies coming up in the next couple years, probably. They always can push them back. Okay, but you got a couple Star Wars movies. You got an Avengers movie. You have, an Avatar movie, an Avengers movie. You have Toy Story 5 coming out in less than a year. You have another Moana movie, okay? And as I mentioned, the Star Wars ones, and we are on a big-time Star Wars. And you got Avatar 4 and 5 out there in the next few years, but the Star Wars ones, okay? We are on a Star Wars reprieve that shame on Disney for allowing that to happen. Zootopia 2 is going to be a big one coming into this season. So when you look at those acquisition numbers, that's a big number when you're talking about Netflix, only $491 billion, and Disney's $200. Makes more sense for Apple market-wise with $3.8 billion, but even then, I don't think it's worth it. All right, we finish it up, folks, with AMD. And how about those numbers, man? We hit a pre-market all-time high, and we're up 27%, and they're doing a deal with who? OpenAI. Folks, thanks so much for kicking your trading week off right here with me. Basil Chapman's coming up next. Stay tuned for the